Hi, hi, hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hope all is well. This is McNutty here, and hey, it's been a little while. I appreciate you tuning in. This might be my toughest video I've ever done. It's taken me a little while to plan this out. Definitely the toughest since my intro. The title of today's video is what I feel is severe OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and what I struggle with. So this one's pretty personal. Yeah, I still don't know how I feel doing this, but hey, here we go. Um, yeah, so this is just, it's a little my opinions too. Yeah, so with severe OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, the obsession is what the sufferer or the person um, does not want to think about. And just as I'm learning more and more, just avoiding thoughts or trying not to think about thoughts, especially when you have OCD. Actually, probably for anyone, usually does not work well. Um, Common OCD obsessions. Common OCD obsessions like relationship OCD, if someone's just overly obsessed with their partner's spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, just always, just overly thinking about them. Pedophile OCD, people have intrusive thoughts about pedophilia or other sexual stuff, and they just get concerned they're a pedophile or something. Different types of like harm OCD, so like they think they're gonna either harm someone or some people or animals or something. Magical OCD, which is like magical thinking. Just kind of stuff that doesn't even really make sense. That's why it's called magical. Like, not really rational. Contamination OCD, which is just like, I mean, a lot of people want to be clean, but like people like it seems like with contamination OCD, they just will wash their hands endlessly. Maybe not even leave their house, apartment, whatever. It's just they think things are just gonna like get out of control. Germ stuff travel from different places and that won't be able to escape. So, sound like yeah, that's just some of the common OCD obsessions from what I've seen learning. When an OCD sufferer does compulsions, only the bullseye is acceptable. If there even is a bullseye, sometimes there pretty much isn't. There can be zero uncertainty, so that's why pretty much compulsions don't work. And a lot of OCD, OCD suffer obsessions are near impossible, if not impossible, are very, very unlikely. And a lot of times the OCD sufferer knows this. That's what's ironic. Um, yeah, and then just some of this is definitely my feel. I think OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, is a misunderstood disorder. Like some people, those and maybe they're kind of right. They'll be like, oh, like well, everyone has a little bit of that, and I kind of feel that could be true. But I think like with severe OCD sufferers, I think there's either one or even multiple like obsessions. It's not just that they're really afraid of, and it's probably like if I had to guess, maybe like times 10 on the intrusive thoughts and just the suffering. But yeah, but that's just a little feel there. And then I feel obsessive compulsive disorder attacks a person's values and makes their world small just through avoidance, compulsions, time, just not um, keep sufferers from trying to stop something, avoid something rather than pursue what really is important to them. Um, yeah, so that's that. Now, I've suffered from severe OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder I've probably always had OCD, but like severely, even if I always haven't given in, probably since I was about, it was around 2008, 2009. Around when around 2008, 2009. So for a while. Um, yeah, this is hard. So what McNutty, have literally what my anxiety brain, and I'm aware, like I have like my anxiety brain, then I have like my intuition. My intuition is way different from my anxiety brain. And that's what kind of drives me nuts. Something, and I try my best to listen to my intuition. Um, I probably have a super hyperactive, whatever it is, whatever my anxiety part of my brain. I don't know, if it's amygdala, whatever. But wow, this is so hard. So what I've literally feel responsible about for, and I can laugh about it. That's what's ironic. And sometimes I actually do better talking about it. Is I'm sure my OCD attacks insecurities I have in myself, my body type, and probably manifests through this. But like I literally a lot of times feel responsible that like I'm gonna accidentally like write out, post, send online like a threat, or like posing as someone as a threat, and be like as someone else representing a nation or something, and like a threat or something. I'm gonna be like responsible for like a nuclear bomb attack, like thousands or hundreds of thousands of people being harmed or something, and it'll be like my fault because I actually wrote something posing as someone. So like, and it's crazy, and it's like my anxiety brain actually, like I said, it uses my intelligence, it gets me, actually like connects loops. So a lot of my OCD is through like technology, like my phone, computer, and like people who kind of really know me well, they know I'm kind of like efficient with my phone usage, computer usage. It's a little to that. I also think it's important to like minimizing screen time around certain things, like when you're getting close to bed or eating meals, like focus on your food and stuff like that. And that's not OCD. That's just actually things I actually feel I believe in. But like, wow, this is hard. But like, see, like I can actually laugh about it. That's what's insane. It's but like my anxiety brain actually sees connects loops where it's like it's not impossible. It's very, very extremely unlikely. Actually, hitting the complete bullseye is not, not with the compulsions, is to actually, if it would have happened, would be beyond hitting a bullseye. But like, yeah, and my OCD actually, like I'm finding it attacks a person's values. So I will not say it, and it's not because I'm not afraid, but with me, it actually attacks a specific group of people, which I'm probably different than, but it's actually a group of people I really like, and that's what I'm learning. It's a group of people I like, and I won't say it. I don't want to bring any hate, any attention towards this group of people, but it does attack a specific group of people, saying, telling me that I'm racist, or whatever, this, that, the other, against this group of people, and like when my anxiety brain, when I'm struggling, it's like I actually feel like this is could be responsible for like sending out a threat, opposing as a world leader, opposing as someone in some government against a group of people, and then like I'm concerned that like I'm accidentally, so like it'll think my phone and computer is going to copy and paste it, and then I'll accidentally be in my paste spot, and then I'll accidentally paste it somewhere else where I'll lose control of it, and then it'll just travel like that. Like that's how it like loops. And I know people who know me, they know I'm not like crazy, and they know I'm not crazy. And that's the thing. Most people, it seems like with severe OCD, they're not crazy. But like obviously, like that much weight, literally feeling like you could be responsible for like a nuclear bomb attack and hundreds of thousands of people. Like so, with me, like it'll attack my ability to speak. Like I'll just completely stutter, or I have a lot of, when I'm struggling, hesitancy speaking. Like even when I do these videos, when I start, like that's real. That's me struggling to say, hey, this is McNutty. Um, and a lot of people in my life who I've dealt with the past, I don't even know, like 10, 15, 20 years, they probably like, oh, Kevin's kind of shy. And I actually, the more I realize, I'm not shy at all. It's just actually, I've just struggled with severe obsessive compulsive disorder. And it's like I've had instances in the past, just pursuing a pretty girl or just trying to meet new friends. And it's like, I'm actually not, or just like a work situation, I'm actually not nervous about that situation. I'm actually nervous about something that's extremely unlikely to near impossible. And you could go deeper, and like maybe like that's because I have been through some unique. Um, I've been through a lot of unique experiences as a kid and stuff. I'm an incredibly lucky person. Just want to say that I've been through some cool. I've been through some cool maybe tough, unique experiences, even like physical adversity too. I'm an I consider myself an incredibly lucky person. That's what, like, I mean, I went through in October 2024 T5 to L4 spine fusion surgery. The toughest thing I dealt with that was debilitating neck stiffness for about 14 to 15 months post op. It would feel like my neck was going to break if I turned it. I probably hit like 35, 40-degree range of motion in my neck for like 14 months. Now I have significantly more, which I'm very lucky. But like, I'm incredibly lucky. Like, what I've been through, even physically, there's people that have been through so much more. Like, people like, I mean, rest in peace, Travis Roy, Rodney Rogers. Like, those are really strong people physically, not things I've been through. Those are really strong people, and that's why. And I'm like not lying when I say obsessive compulsive disorder (OCD) is the toughest thing I've ever battled because it's confusing and like and I'm in control. Like like even now, like I'll have urges like crazy to do compulsions, but the nice thing is I'm in control. Like I don't have to do them, but like it's just weird what gives my brain feedback. And sometimes I'm learning, leaning into exposure and feared situations kind of sometimes can help. It's weird. And a lot of times compulsions increase anxiety. It's weird. And I'm working with a good OCD coach therapist. I've had few different therapists. This one's more specified OCD. My previous therapist was very knowledgeable about OCD too and was very good, but that was virtual, so it was a little different. This is in person. Been working with this guy who I really like since the beginning of May, and it's a little different type of. It's not definitely not traditional talk therapy. Actually, a lot of times traditional talk therapy can make OCD worse. You really need specified, specialized obsessive compulsive disorder care. This is cool. It's been going well so far. I do always feel like I'm still on eggshells and I feel like I'm going to be stuck. But since I've been working with him, I've been avoiding way less in life and just doing the things I doing a lot more of the things I value and care about. So that's awesome. So that's what I'm. Even though I still feel like I'm on eggshells a lot, that's how I'm kind of gauging. Like, hey, like look at what we're doing since we've been working together. Um, yeah, and with me, like stuttering, hesitancy, a lot of the hesitancy, and I'm starting to realize that hesitancy speaking, that might not even be so much anxiety, more me just struggling, letting go of holding on to something, like an intrusive thought or something I feel like I should check, letting go, and like we talk about, like it's letting go is like Mount Everest. Mount Everest for anyone physically able to, it's not hard for anyone physically able to. It's just walking but it's Mount Everest. That's a lot of walking. It's probably a lot of days, maybe dealing with some tough weather. It's you have to be persistent. So like letting go, like I've been struggling for so long and struggling avoiding thoughts and always thinking and now we're just practicing letting go. So he's like, hey, it takes time. It's just practice. Like Allen Iverson, practice. We're talking about practice. When you see me play, you see me play. We're here talking about practice. So we're just practicing letting go over and over again. And yeah, I'm listening to him. Things I feel get stuck with, I'll talk with him, and then we'll just yeah figure out a course of action. If and, we're not trying because like my OCD anxiety brain, it always wants to solve everything, and it's getting actually better. Just even things that come up day to day, not getting better, not needing to solve it right away. So that's something that's been noticed, and I'm practicing that. Just don't worry about solving things right away. Just let things flow, and yeah, it's really tough. Yeah, it's really tough. And then what was tough, I knew I was vulnerable dealing with that debilitating neck stiffness. I didn't, for a little while, I couldn't exercise like I used to. And for people who know me, they know I love to exercise. And yeah, so I was probably susceptible. And even though I didn't really stay strong, do many compulsions, I still like, things were tough mentally for a little bit. Yeah, so it's crazy. Like hesitancy, anxiety, low energy. Like when I'm struggling, I can try so hard. It's crazy. And I noticed this too. Like, when things are flowing, like I can hardly put any energy, and it's like, wow, I'm loud. It's like, and then like when I'm struggling, I can try so hard, so little comes out. I'd say like living with obsessive compulsive disorder, it's like living life on all Madden, whereas not living. Like when things are good, it's which sometimes can be very. Although I have a lot of good days, I have a lot of good days. I've figured out how to manage things a lot of times. But like when things are good, it's maybe like playing on pro mode in OCDs, like all Madden, just for reference. Um, yeah, so it's tough. Toughest thing I've ever lived with. That's my severe obsession, and I still struggle with it. It still connects the dots. This there's still things that my anxiety brain sometimes feels unsolved. And that's one thing we talk about too. Feelings aren't facts. And even the previous therapist I worked with, feelings aren't facts. And I'm leaning into that more. And even on one thing I'll feel stuck with, my feelings will change from day to day, even within the same day, week to week. So we just try to hold off and wait and just see if those feelings change. Don't have to solve it right away. So we always say, and the guy I'm working with tells me there's nothing to be afraid of. Just feelings aren't facts. Yeah, and that's really starting to resonate with me a little more. And yeah, so and like, and I probably had especially for what I was going through physically with that extensive spine fusion, and why I was so afraid to engage in compulsions, even if it was just checking a few things. It's probably because I'm going to mention some of my worst compulsion rabbit holes in the past, just to kind of show the level of suffering when because like yeah, I was struggling. I was going through a lot physically, and I probably have minor mental PTSD from going down compulsive rabbit holes in the past. Yeah, and like what I feel I'm responsible for, that's a lot of weight. Even if my intuition part of my brain knows it's near unlikely to impossible, still my anxiety brain goes haywire. It's like, you could check this for 5 minutes, 3 minutes, and I just know what that can lead to. And from my past history, it usually doesn't work. And like when you hold off into it, it just can make your anxiety go crazy. And it's like, but like your intuition tells you it's the right thing to do. And I know I have a good intuition. I believe in my intuition. So it's just really confusing, really tricky. And like I said, I probably have minor PTSD from mental PTSD from past rabbit holes, and yeah, going to some of those. Yeah, so like 2008, 2009, when I first started severe obsessive compulsive disorder. It was during my second leg lengthening surgery, spending some time in Baltimore, and it first started around creating a new email address, literally a new email address. Um, I was worried when I created a new email address, I accidentally put a threat under like some of the account information or something. I'm posing as someone writing a threat. So like I probably created like 8 new email addresses just to like create a new one fresh over the next, I don't know, I have to guess 6 months to a year after that, and just constantly checking. I'd make one and check a few times. When I make one, just keep checking all the name, address, email, I don't even know, password, make sure I didn't write threat in any of those boxes. Yeah, so that was tough. And at that time, like I didn't know much about obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. I kind of knew I had OCD, maybe just seeing things on TV. I just always knew, and I even knowing like when I was a little younger, like yeah, kind of like probably have OCD, and like my strength in school was math, so I have a very like math type of brain. That was definitely my strength. I was not the smartest, but I was good at math, and which I feel like some people with OCD are. Yeah, and then in 2014 to 2016, I remember what I want to do more than anything was just create. I mean, now I do future sports bet and bet on sports, but a free ESPN fantasy sports account, and it took me probably like, and I wanted to play fantasy baseball in the 2014 season, and I just wasn't comfortable with the account I made. And if I had to guess, before I finally got a free ESPN fantasy account that I was comfortable with, it took till probably about 2016. Trading, I don't even know, maybe like, yeah, I missed. I mean, 2014, 2016. That's quite a few sports seasons. I mean, I like pretty much all sports. I mean, back then my favorites were football, basketball, baseball. Now I've gotten a lot more into hockey, but I like everything. I I don't follow much, but I used to even like playing like ping pong, some other stuff. Yeah, but it took from like 2014, 2016. That's a lot of seasons of sports missing. And just free. Just wanted to play fantasy sports with friends, family, and stuff. Probably took me before I finally got ESPN fantasy account I was comfortable with. If I had to guess, 30 to maybe like about 30 hours of compulsions, always checking the account info, name, email, address, boxes, make sure I didn't write threats. If not comfortable, make a new account. 30 hours, like I would actually get literally around this time like stomach aches because I would check and just looking so intensely at the screens and my phone computer and like stomach aches and like when I go to the bathroom like weird things. Yeah, don't want to say it, but like yeah, like weird stomach aches just from like the anxiety and from intensely looking at my phone computer. And I think that's led into some of my mental PTSD and why like when I was going through I was physically I was just like, hey, I'm not even gonna check once. I'm just not even playing with you OCD. That's what I was when I was I mean it would feel like if I'd move my neck it could like it could break. Like it was terrifying. And I mean, just in dealing with other stuff too. I mean, I went through T5 to L4 spine fusion. It wasn't just the neck stiffness. And yeah, yeah, that I mean, that's a lot of suffering from 2014 to 2016 just to play a free ESPN fantasy account. And like in 2008, 2009, didn't know much about OCD. 2014, 2016, knew a little bit. And then after that, I was kind of like, wow, like I did all this for like nothing. I could have just done nothing. And that's what I more try to do now is just do nothing. I've had some therapists tell me that even what I'm afraid of is not even possible. I couldn't do it if I tried. And that might be true. And that's probably true. True. Hopefully it's true. They say if OCD, sometimes reassurance can be bad. But if you're not engaging in compulsions, it's not really reassurance. It's when the sufferer is engaging in compulsions and then they're seeking reassurance. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's the toughest thing I've ever battled. I've had many times in my life where I've literally felt cursed. I've never, like I said, I've honestly never thought about taking my life. Never have. I felt a lot of times like I where I don't deserve to don't deserve to live, guilty, like cursed. I've definitely felt cursed at times. Like and what's tough too with OCD, like makes you avoid things, miss out on things. It's like if you feel like that much weight, you're gonna miss out a lot of opportunities, friends, family, and stuff. Um, what's tough too is I truly believe I'm an incredibly lucky person. I truly do. So like that almost makes the pain worse because it's like wow, like look at all these gifts God's given me, all these opportunities, people in my life, this, that, opportunities, and I know and I believe I'm super creative. I believe I'm a pretty creative person, and it's like and it makes it painful because like you can't show yourself to the world. And because of my struggles with OCD, a lot of people have probably been around me. They're probably, oh, Kevin's just a little shy. And I actually don't think that's true at all. And I promise I'm trying to be very honest here. Yeah, so that's just severe obsessive compulsive disorder. If you struggle, any that, feel free to comment. Very much like to get your opinions. Well, yeah, and I can feel stuck many ways. I said my biggest fears sometimes with phone and computers. That's why could be partially why I'm not very. I'm kind of efficient. Like sometimes I'll go a couple hours without checking my phone and stuff. Could be that, but I actually like minimizing screen time sometimes, as it is. How I am currently practicing improving, what we're working on is not struggling, avoiding thoughts, letting go, noticing things, just noticing things, labeling them, letting go, pursuing my values regardless of how I feel. So whatever anxiety comes up, that's not the issue. You still got to pursue your values. Um, Reminding myself feelings are not facts and feelings can change. So just kind of, hey, let things simmer for a bit. Even if it's a month, just let things simmer for a bit. Um, and I feel, despite the weight my OCD brain feels responsible for, my OCD brain's biggest fear is feeling stuck for the rest of my life. If you're an OCD sufferer, feel free to chime in. But I've actually realized, even though the weight my anxiety brain feels responsible for is tremendous, makes me think I'm going to be one of like the worst people in the history of the world. Um, and hopefully, I'm close to opposite of that. But the my OCD brain's biggest fear, I've actually realized this, and I think it's true. It's that I'm just gonna lose control, and I'm not gonna be able to. It's gonna be too much to check, and I'm gonna feel stuck for the rest of my life. and just like completely hesitancy, speaking low energy, stuttering, and yeah. And sometimes I just tell myself like, hey, screw it, like you suck at OCD. Who's good at OCD? You suck at OCD. You don't want to engage, whatever, and just try to be the best person you can be in every other avenue. Yeah, and obviously still have a lot of ways to improve, but like just try to be the best you can be in other avenues. Screw it, you suck at OCD. Who's good? Who's good at OCD? And yeah, and like I said, I don't believe most people with OCD are crazy. I've dealt with three therapists, a couple sessions with this online program called NOCD over the years. Yeah, no one's ever thought I'm crazy. No one has ever even slightly suggested, even remotely suggested I'm crazy. And I think people that deal with me know I'm not crazy. And what I feel the difference between an OCD duffer and a crazy person. Yeah, yeah. I think crazy people they just kind of just I think a lot of OCD sufferers, they're aware that what they're afraid of is very, very unlikely to near responsible, and they're just kind of like aware of things. And most CD sufferers, they're actually afraid of not harming others. Crazy people, I have a hunch they might actually be just not even aware or just could potentially harm others. OCD sufferers are just completely overwhelmed with anxiety because they do not want to harm others. And I saw this in an online group I'm in, which has like thousands of members. I'm not very active in it. But sometimes I read the comments. I can't take credit of this, but I actually agree. Someone posted that OCD is a sign of an energetic brain, and I was like, wow, I completely agree. I think most OCD I don't know if this is bragging. This is a hunch I have. I think most people with obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, if I had to guess, probably slightly above average intelligence. And I think it's a sign of an energetic brain. So I think the big thing is just, and I'm still improving on things. Still have a lot to practice. Like we're talking about practice for practicing. But I completely agree. I think it's a sign of an energetic brain. So it's just about getting your anxiety brain the proper feedback and then channeling that into just being creative and pursuing your values. And well, thank you so much for tuning in. This video, yeah, it took a little while for me to plan this, and thank you so much. That's just McNutty, and yeah, I go by McNutty. That's kind of ironic. Yeah, that's literally. I've had OCD too with like other minor things like but nothing that's like completely been debilitating. Like minor things, like if people follow me around, they might be like, oh, like maybe I checked to see if the door's locked once or twice more than a normal person. Maybe the stove once more, but nothing crazy. I do not have contamination OCD. I don't have that. A lot of times, yeah, people like when I tell them I suffer from OCD, they're, oh, you have contamination OCD. That comes to people's mind. I think because maybe that's been what most shown on online or TV or whatever. I don't have that, but like yeah, my minor things, door lock, stove, just minor checking things. But like the severe things, literally like what I showed in this video, what my anxiety brain a lot of times feels could be responsible for what I feel sometimes that I feel like I could get stuck, but I feel like I could get stuck. That does not mean I could get stuck. That's the difference. And yeah, this is McNutty. Thank you so much for your time. If you're fellow OCD sufferer, obsessive compulsive disorder sufferer, feel free to comment. Yeah, thank you for your time. Until we meet again, McNutty, thank you. Have a great day. Bye.